times. A 3-inch height advantage for Pavlik, who at 6'2" is very tall for the middleweight division, but an arm length advantage, conversely, of 1.5 inches for Miranda, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. They both weighed in at the official division limit of 160. Miranda rehydrating overnight to 173, 2 pounds heavier than Pavlik, 171, according to our unofficial HBO scale. Rules of the bout from our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Edison Miranda Kelly Pavlik fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching,
with that money he won.
Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Edison Miranda from Colombia, and now here comes Kelly Pavlik, who is from Youngstown, Ohio, a city with a tremendous past sports tradition.
Youngstown is a hot boxing town at one time, best known in recent decades for the lightweight champion, Ray Mancini. I like the fact that Pavlik seemed in a hurry to get to the ring.
Lennox, he's got a 3-inch height advantage. How should he use it against Miranda?
He should use that jab and keep Miranda definitely at the end of the jab, hopefully seizing the opportunities where Miranda makes those technical mistakes like leaving his left hand down, so Pavlik can actually get through with jabs and hooks after that.
There's been so much excitement about Miranda as a knockout force that it's almost overlooked by some that Pavlik has 27 knockouts in 30 fights. The knock is that he's been mostly fighting 154-pounders coming up, whereas Miranda says, I've been fighting real middleweights. We're about to find out who really has the edge. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started for this great night of boxing on HBO World Championship Boxing, at this time we must pause to pay honor to a member of the boxing fraternity who tragically and suddenly was taken from us in a traffic accident just days ago. He will forever be remembered for his courage and KO power, and his legacy will always include his big heart, equaled only by his big smile. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please remain silent as the timekeeper tolls a memorial count of 10 for a fallen hero, 3-time world champion, Diego Chico Corrales. Rest in peace, Chico. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FedEx Forum, Memphis, Tennessee, where tonight DeBella Entertainment is proud to present an evening of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment. All bouts sanctioned by the Tennessee Boxing Commission, Commissioner Meredith Sullivan. This first bout is a presentation of Seminole Warriors Boxing, Top Rank and Main Events in association with DeBella Entertainment. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this contest on the 10-point system are Richard De Caffarel, Mauro De Fori, and Ken Merida. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action, Steve Smoger. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on the line, the WBC #1 ranking, 12 rounds of boxing in the middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the color copper and weighing in officially at 160 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one. 30 bouts, 30 victories, including 27 KOs from Youngstown, Ohio. The undefeated WBC #1 ranked middleweight contender in the world, Kelly the Ghost Pavlik. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with red, official weight 160 pounds. Professional record, 29 bouts, 28 victories, including 24 knockouts, with only 1 defeat. From Buenaventura, Colombia, the WBC #2 ranked middleweight contender in the world, Edison Pantera Miranda.
Centering, gentlemen. Gentlemen, you were given your instructions both in Spanish and English in the dressing room. Please obey my commands, respect the bell, and protect yourself at all times. Edison, entiende todo? Todo bien? Touch gloves.
There's a new expression in the South called crunk. From Southern hip-hop music, it means hot. This fight figures to be crunk.
Esquina, esquina, Miranda. Kelly, get in your corner, guys. Get in your corner.
Just to be clear, neither fighter is from Kronk, but Larry thinks the fight will be Crunk. Lennox, there's a significant body contrast between the longer, looser muscles of Pavlik and the much more tightly bunched Miranda. If you were brand new to the sport, you'd look at this and say, oh my gosh, Miranda's going to overpower him. Doesn't always work that way, does it?
Doesn't always work that way. Guys with longer arms usually have those long, fast, twitching muscles, which really helps their case.
Neither man is boxing. They're punching, Lennox.
Yes. And Pavlik promised to back up his opponent because he thinks that Miranda doesn't fight as well going back.
Well, he succeeded in doing that part of the time in the first minute. Both guys have landed a couple. Yeah, both guys have landed a couple significant shots. Both guys are in harm's way.
Step back. Very good, hands up.
But it's a very, very fast pace.
Sure is. Nobody's trying to establish a jab, Lennox.
Nobody's trying to establish a jab. They're just going straight for the raw power. I think Pavlik is throwing more jabs than Miranda, and this is what he said that he was going to do in the fighters meeting, that he's going to put Miranda under some serious pressure because he can't fight going backwards. And right now, Miranda's not really throwing any punches that really shows that he can fight going backwards.
No, it looks like Miranda is a bit thrown off by Pavlik coming at him with as much aggression as he's shown. I think Miranda expected to be able to intimidate Kelly Pavlik, and right now, Pavlik is showing no fear whatsoever as he lands long right hands into the grill of Miranda and bangs him hard with a shot. And Miranda tries to come back with his own right hand.
If Miranda has an edge, he can take a shot.
And Miranda needs to step away from that right hand that Pavlik is throwing at him and stay away from the corners and the ropes because he has nowhere to go right now, especially when he gets hit. And he's being caught a couple times with that straight right hand, which Pavlik is definitely getting through with it.
And Pavlik landed a left hook. He says Miranda's very susceptible to left hooks. And right now, Edison is in trouble in the corner as he's been tagged 4 times big by Pavlik with still a minute to go in the round. Kelly Pavlik not backing off, thinks he has Miranda going and wants to get him right now.
Miranda needs to keep that left hand up. He's got it very low. He's not even trying to stop that right hand. I don't think he knows how to stop that right hand right now. But that left hand of Miranda needs to stay a little bit higher.
One of the things that's happening is Miranda's punches seem awfully soft and not without any snap in it, the way he's on the defensive. So even though some of his punches are getting through, I don't see any power in them yet.
Well, like I say, I think it's very clear. Miranda expected to be the intimidator. Pavlik isn't intimidated at all. They are trading bombs at short range. And now Miranda starts to assert himself a little more and lands a left hook and a big right cross. And what a round. That might have been the round of the year on HBO, and Pavlik went to the wrong corner. Then laughed about it.
Come on. Give me the frickin' bucket. Any bucket. All right, just relax, just relax. Listen, you gotta just quit walking them, though, Cal. You gotta move them shoulders walking at him. You're just becoming a stiff target.
Close up, bring up the upper, and finish off with the hook. Drink some water. Finish off with the hook. Hands up defensively. Come on. Come on, get off the ropes. Get off the ropes. In the center of the ring now. Understand?
And here we see Pavlik landing a straight right hand right on the button. And this is what he needs to do in the fight, throw straight punches.
I don't know that Miranda has ever walked in to that kind of consistent explosion before, and he seemed a little bit confused when he went to his corner because he wasn't able to do what he wants to do against this fighter.
CompuBox numbers in round 1 were spectacular. Pavlik, 38 out of 97, 29 out of 79 power shots. Miranda, 25 out of 94, 19 out of 66 power shots. Pavlik got off at a much higher percentage, landing 39%. There's a big bomb by Miranda with the right hand. Maybe he's got his sea legs under him now. Both guys are still gunning away.
Pavlik uses his offense in part as defense. He will throw 90 to 100 punches. That could have been counted as a knockdown. He was sitting on the ropes. Miranda was sitting on the ropes. The ropes held him up.
And incidentally, Steve Smoger, this referee, has a reputation for very slow stoppage. So if you want to see the bombs keep flying in a fight, he's the man to have as the third man in the ring. Both guys are going to get their chances with Smoger in there.
And Miranda looks a bit rattled right now. You know, he's a bit.
Why wouldn't he be?
He needs to definitely get out of the corner. I think he's had some trouble making weight, so he looks a bit spent right now.
He looks to me like he's bothered by the length of Pavlik, Lennox.
Not only that, but he's punching good out of the corner right now. He's catching Pavlik with some good right hands. But after he throws his combination, he's dropping his left hand, leaving Pavlik able to throw that right hand over that left hand.
Well, this is old-fashioned middleweight punching.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Hey, in this day and age, this kind of punching wouldn't look bad in the heavyweight division. These guys are really firing. And now Miranda lands an uppercut and seizes the initiative.
Now we have to see whether Pavlik can take the punishment that Miranda has.
Pavlik's got some blood running out of his nose, so he definitely got hit in the nose. But Miranda needs to keep his hands up, especially that left hand. After he's throwing the combination, he's putting his hands down.
Both guys get credit for world-class chins so far. I mean, nobody's been down, and some major league bombs have landed. Told a lot of people this week not to be surprised to see a fight in which both men would be on the canvas.
Pavlik landed the stiffer, harder, straighter punches, and I think they've affected Miranda to a certain degree.
But you can never underestimate the will of Edison Miranda, who overcomes his absence of craft with an abundance of desire. They keep fighting past the second round bell, and they get a well-deserved standing ovation for what they've given to the fans in the first 2 rounds.
Huh? What's that? He's tired? Yeah. Okay.
Breathe through your mouth, okay? Wait. Breathe through your mouth, Kelly. Pull the cup.
El hombre está muerto vivo con la mano arriba. The guy's dead. Come on, keep your hands up and turn him. And turn him. After the right, throw that hook. Finish off with the combinations. Finish with the hook and close it up. Move to the sides. Come on, close your eyes.
And here's Pavlik hurting Miranda on the ropes. Is this a knockdown? No. He did sit on the rope, but the referee didn't warn him about it.
What if this fight had happened
and here's
2 weeks ago?
Big overhand right by Miranda, catching Pavlik right on the chin.
Imagine if this had happened 2 weeks ago with De La Hoya and Mayweather.
Well, the cynic would say there's already been more fight here in 2 rounds than there was in 12 rounds 2 weeks ago in the fight the world waited for. But everybody at ringside knew. Everybody who covers the sport knew that 2 guys were coming in here gunning for the spectacular knockout, and the fight has realized all of its expectations already.
You know, no matter what happens from here on out, both fighters are earning shots at a championship.
Don't punch, no punch. Step.
Question to me is, which one will be able to put a style imprint on the fight and transform it from a slugfest into something he can manage, Lennox?
Well, I think we're seeing a little bit of that from Pavlik now in the center of the ring.
Pavlik is definitely the more technically sound fighter right now.
Oh, a hard right hand.
He's doing the right things. He's throwing some good combinations, ending off with a hook. He's a bit flat-footed. Should be using the jab a bit more. But right now, they're happy slugging it out.
Miranda with a left hook. Pavlik with another right hand.
Miranda's going to the body a little bit more.
Blood flowing from the nostril of Kelly Pavlik. Miranda with a looping uppercut. Just misses with a big right hand. Pavlik lands a jab, a rarity in these first 3 rounds. Body shot for Kelly Pavlik. Combination upstairs. Miranda sticks him with a left hand. Pavlik alternately stepping back to use his length and then stepping in to take away Miranda's punching power. I think he's been very effective with his feet so far, Lennox. He said he would back Miranda up. He's been able to do it most of the time.
Now he's looking a bit weary, and what he's doing when he's backing Miranda up, he's standing in one position, basically waiting to get punched back.
Now Smoker's going to warn Miranda for low blows. That was the 3rd time that Edison Miranda touched Kelly Pavlik below the belt line.
And he was penalized several points in his fight with the German Arthur Abraham for low blows.
He was penalized 3 points for low blows and 2 points for butting in the fight that he lost to Abraham in Germany. That's the only loss on the records of either of the 2 fighters. That was a fight in which Miranda landed functionally twice as many punches as Abraham, but wound up losing. Pavlik once again backing Miranda up against the ropes, going to work with the right hand. Miranda seems to be tiring now.
Miranda's being very sloppy with his defense and offense right now. And I think the fact that he had to make that weight really affected him.
I think Pavlik's affecting him.
I think everything's affecting him, and I think one question is, did he focus too much in the build-up to the fight on his verbal war with Jermaine Taylor? Miranda spent more time at the news conference 3 days ago talking about Taylor and how Taylor ought to be fighting him and how he was going to clean the canvas with Jermaine Taylor than he did talking about Kelly Pavlik. And Pavlik, in his own calm, quiet way, seems quite aware of that and has used that for motivation. Later tonight, you'll see Jermaine Taylor against Corey Spinks in what will certainly be a different-looking fight from this, if Corey has anything to say about it.
And let's look at the low blow by Miranda. And Pavlik pulled his head down a little bit, but it was obviously low and crushing.
I think sometimes when he's fatigued or frustrated, he does that.
CompuBox numbers through 3 show Kelly Pavlik averaging 30 power punches landed per round. He has thrown more and landed more than Miranda in each of the 3 rounds. Harold, how do you have it so far?
Okay, Jim, 3-0, 30-27, Kelly Pavlik. Jim, I'll tell you something. What impresses me about this fight is leverage. Kelly Pavlik backs this guy into the ropes, and he's got real good leverage coming forward with that right hand. I mean, he's bombing Edison Miranda with right hands. Miranda always rallies in the last minute of the round, but so far, 3-0, Pavlik.
Well, I'll tell you, Miranda has taken some really stiff shots from a fighter with a reputation as a good puncher.
Miranda's right eye seems to be swelling and closing just a bit. Pavlik's right eye is a little bit the worse for wear as well. You've seen blood from the nose of Kelly Pavlik already. It's an extremely physical fight in every way, shape, and form.
Miranda's throwing some ineffective punches, more slapping. Pavlik is throwing good combinations. Like I said, he has better technical skill than Miranda. Miranda needs that experience in that technical field. Needs to go back to the gym and work on a couple of things, especially keeping the left hand up.
That's not going to do him any good tonight, Lennox. But one of the interesting things is you pointed out about how he throws more round punches, and so Pavlik has been able to avoid them by keeping his arms up and making them go around him.
And the reason he does that, that shows good amateur background, where, you know, keeping the hands up and throwing the straighter punches.
Miranda has no snap on his punches right now. Just throwing short stuff to try to get Pavlik off of it. And still Pavlik is able to back Miranda up and land bigger shots.
Hands down by Miranda still. Needs to keep him a lot higher.
There were a lot of people who seem to have the notion that if Edison Miranda could land flush, there wasn't anybody in the division who could take that punch. So far, Kelly Pavlik has stared that notion down. He's taken a lot of flush shots from Edison Miranda, and his punches do more damage. Again, the myth of the super muscular body as opposed to the longer, looser muscles. Miranda looks tired. Pavlik looks tired, but not as tired. This is the 4th round of the scheduled 12. But at this pace, who really thinks it might go 12? Stranger things have happened, I guess. Still no real boxing. The 4th round was another slugfest. Fight continues pretty much the same way. This summer, catch the latest installments from our award-winning documentary series, Sports of the 20th Century, Wednesday, June 6th. It's the premiere of Barbaro, a 1-hour special on the thoroughbreds' tragic pursuit of the Triple Crown and the fight for life that captured our hearts. 1 month later, on July 11th, we bring you The Ghosts of Flatbush, a 2-hour documentary chronicling the glory days of the Brooklyn Dodgers and the heartbreak they caused Brooklynites everywhere, like Larry Merchant, when they left for Los Angeles.
Come on, get in the middle of the ring. You understand? Breathe deeply.
Okay, Miranda said that by the 4th round, Pavlik would be down to about 5 foot 10 inches. The way this fight's going, Pavlik's up to about 6'4".
Yeah, and the statistics from CompuBox got more one-sided in the 4th round, where Pavlik landed 39 of 82 power shots to only 11 of 56 for Miranda. Miranda landing only 13 out of 91 punches in the 4th round. That's only 14%. Pavlik is landing at a very high connect percentage. Now, Miranda lands a body shot and a left hook upstairs. Still no penalty. Second warning from Smoker to Miranda for low blows. I think you have to assume that the next time Miranda has an obvious low blow, he's going to get that 1-point penalty. But what does that matter? Harold Letterman, I think, has Kelly Pavlik winning every round so far, and I'm pretty sure the official judges would see it the same way.
Well, Miranda might have won the 2nd round on some cards, but a point taken can be very important in any fight.
Miranda's waving Pavlik in as if to say, keep throwing, I want to trade with you.
No, I think what he's saying, he's touching his heart to say, I've got a heart, I can take your best shots.
Question is, how long are his eyes going to stay open? To me, they look like they're closing pretty fast.
See, in this kind of situation, Pavlik should stick more to his boxing, his technical skills, going in there right behind a jab, throwing a combination.
Yeah, but what got him here was moving Miranda backwards.
I know, but
he should
attacking. Yeah, but he needs to take advantage of the fact that he's got long arms and that he's a boxer. He shouldn't slug it out with a slugger because he's at a disadvantage there.
Well, it hasn't been a disadvantage so far.
Yeah, but I think what Lennox is saying is, and maybe I'm misinterpreting you, Lennox. Are you saying, why take a chance when you're ahead on the fight?
Right. I mean, he's in with a big puncher, and you know, there might be a situation where he may come back and drop his hand, and Miranda come across with a great right hand and catch him flush.
Right. He's built a working margin here. You don't want to give it up on one big punch. But on the other hand, he keeps maintaining the chance that he's going to land the one big punch.
Right, but there's always that chance. It only takes one punch to divert history.
This is a fight that doesn't need a lot of captions. The pictures tell the story.
Now Miranda starts to build confidence with his right hand again.
But those punches aren't landing clean that I can see.
One of them did. That one did
and
too.
that one did too.
Yep. He landed 3 right hands in that sequence. Slightly better for Edison Miranda in the 5th. Still Kelly Pavlik's fight. And you wonder what Corey Spinks thinks if he's watching from his dressing room. A pure boxer like Spinks, warming up there with trainer Kevin Cunningham. Cunningham, a former St. Louis cop, holding the hand pads and working with the fast-fisted Corey Spinks, while the entire dressing room claps in approval. A boxer like Spinks would probably look at what Miranda and Pavlik are doing and say, those guys are crazy.
Esto lo decide el más cojonudo y el más cojonudo aquí de la Pantera. ¿Ah? El jab, la derecha, viene con el gancho, repíteme el gancho.
The jab, come on. Double up on the hook.
Okay. Está quedando, papi.
Lennox Edison Miranda has continually been blowing out of his nose in the ring. Does that increase his swelling?
It does. Most trainers tell you at that position, don't blow, because what it does, it makes the swelling a lot more. Blows it right up.
He didn't have that long amateur career, which fighters like you gain experience from. Is that perhaps one of the reasons that he's making that kind of error?
Yes, it is.
CompuBox numbers in the 5th, Miranda 19 out of 79, Pavlik 35 out of 76. The 76 punches, Pavlik's low output for the fight, only a 25-18 edge in power, so at least the CompuBox numbers narrowed somewhat in the 5th round. And you got a glimmer of that, as I suggested at the end of the round, that things had started to go a little bit better for Miranda in the last minute.
Miranda's gotten a little bit accustomed to what he's seeing, because he's staying off the rope, staying in the middle of the ring where he doesn't give away precious time and the appearance of getting hit a lot more. The appearance and the reality. Well, this has the appearance now of becoming a war of attrition.
War of wills.
Who's going to be able to stand this longer? Who's not going to buckle?
Lennox, is there anything you can do in sparring to prepare for the physical damage that goes with fighting like this?
The thing you do is you put yourself against all types of different sparring partners to prepare for that. What Emmanuel Stewart usually does, keeps me in the ring, brings in 3 sparring partners and gives them each a minute at me, and I don't get no rest. So these guys are all different styles are always coming at me.
Big right hand.
Oh, that hurt him. He's out.
Miranda is down, and the question is, can he make it up?
3, 4,
I don't think he's going to make it.
Well, he's on his feet.
He's definitely wobbly.
Is he going to let him go on?
Yeah, Smoker will let him go on. Absolutely. I've seen Smoker a lot.
He's giving him too much time. What's going on here?
Spat the mouthpiece.
Smoker is...
Now he's going to get a chance to put the mouthpiece.
What is Steve Smoker doing? He's blowing this fight for Pavlik. This is incompetence. I can't stand it when a referee does this. When a fighter has given himself the advantage.
Well, to be fair, you know, he dropped his mouth guard, so the referee has to put back his mouth guard.
He's gone anyway. He just got hit with a massive left hook. And Lennox Lewis is correct. He's going to have a tremendous amount of difficulty recovering from this. He's going to make it up again. And I'm betting Smoker lets him keep going.
Look, right again.
2 knockdowns in the round for Pavlik.
Miranda's legs don't seem there. Seem like they're there.
And the bell saves him from the carnage of that round. And Miranda is all but out on his feet as he slumps into the chair. We're halfway through the fight.
How you feeling? You want to stop the fight? We're on the 7th. You want me to stop it? No, no.
I think Smoker is taking a point away from Miranda. In addition to the 2 knockdowns, if he is doing that, that's a 10-6 round.
Got 1 minute. If you give me 1 minute, I don't see anything, I'm going to stop it.
And here's the first knockdown. Straight right hand. Miranda didn't even see that coming through. That came starting with a jab and then ending off with a right.
And that's from an accumulation of punches, topped by another accumulation of punches.
And here's the second knockdown. Pavlik coming across with a great right hand. He's very accurate with that right hand.
So Edison Miranda still wobbling now as the 7th round begins. Harold Letterman's scorecard is probably going to be a moot point. Harold, quickly, what does it show?
Okay, Jim, 5-1, 59-52, Kelly Pavlik. I thought Smoker should have definitely stopped it. I mean, this guy was really hurt, and that's how people get hurt.
Well, it seems like Pavlik only has to hit Miranda with a great shot right now to stop this fight. And I know the referee's standing close, watching out for Miranda because Miranda looks very shaky on his legs.
Jose Bonilla told Edison Miranda, if you don't show me something in the first minute, I'm going to stop the fight. And he is up on the steps in Miranda's corner. You can see him behind Edison right there, yelling at Edison that he's about to stop the fight unless Miranda can somehow fight back.
Push him off.
Now, we showed you in the feature piece that Bonilla is both a father figure and a trainer for Edison Miranda. It must be very difficult now for him to watch his fighter wobble around the ring, his right eye closing, and this is stoppage time. Any other referee would have stopped it before there. Smoker finally does. Kelly Pavlik has a huge knockout victory.
And now we have a build-up to a fight with Taylor that could be huge. Huge, huge, assuming Taylor takes care of his half of this fight.
Well, Larry, there was an argument, in effect, a disagreement between Lou DiBella's promoter, Jermaine Taylor, and Kelly Pavlik's promoter, Bob Arum, as to whether Pavlik was really made a credible offer to fight Taylor tonight. It doesn't matter now, does it?
Well, he'll be made a credible offer the next time.
And let me tell you, Pavlik did a great job in preparing for this fight because he told us that, you know, he's going to back Miranda up because Miranda can't fight going backwards. And we've seen evidence of that in this fight. This is what allowed him to win the fight. Looking at a fight, analyzing what he needs to do and going out and doing it.
And that was a great show of courage by Pavlik, who came in here ready to fight fire with fire, who knew that Miranda was going to be gunning for the knockout with the big right hand, and simply took the fight to him from the very beginning.
From the get-go.
Pavlik closed the show in the 7th round, landing 12 of 18 power shots.
Hey, man, work, that body.
Bloody nose, took some very big shots, was never really out of control. Let's take a look at the end, Lennox.
You know, it only took one good shot because Miranda was definitely losing his legs, has no legs under him, and he was looking for a way out. Just accumulation of punches. Referee stepped in, stopped the fight.
Well, like I said, Steve Smoker gives you your money's worth. is not going to stop it until the issue is absolutely, totally decided. And finally, it was all right there for him. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official particulars on the knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee steps in and calls a halt to the bout. 1 minute 54 seconds of round number 7. The winner by TKO victory. And now the WBC and universally ranked #1 middleweight contender in the world, Kelly the Ghost Pavlik.
Stunning performance by Pavlik. Eye-catching in every way. Landed twice as many punches as Miranda. Threw 35 more. Landed at a twice as high connect percentage. Even more dominant when you look at the power punch category. Landing 103 more power punches. Throwing 73 more. Landing almost 50%. And these were big shots. Long-armed, loose-muscled, rangy quick. Kelly Pavlik at 6'2" is a physical force in the middleweight division. Larry Merchant stands by with the gunslinger from Youngstown, Ohio.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Kelly. That seemed to go exactly the way your blueprint had it.
Yeah. You know what, we started out, we stuck with the game plan that we had. You know, like I said before, media created Miranda into what he was. Great fighter, obviously, could punch like a mule, but our game plan was to keep him going backwards because he can't fight that well going back. And we didn't want him to set the pace or set the tempo with them big right hands. And I think towards the end of the fight, we started wearing him down, and he didn't have much left in him at all.
Could you even sense in the first round that he was a little confused by your onslaught?
I think so, and he hit me with a couple clean punches in the first round. And I think what really surprised him that I took him so well. And, you know, and after that, I think it kind of, once he felt my power, like I was saying before, a lot of these guys feel my power. It don't look like much on TV, but once they get in there, it's like, whoa, you know, this guy is strong. And I think he felt it from the first round on also. I think when he seen he couldn't hurt me and he felt my power, that he was really worried.
When you had that great 6th round, did you think that the referee was taking an awful long time after your knockdown, and that maybe taking something away from you, an opportunity? Here it is. Watch it and tell us what happened.
Yeah, I think right here he sat there and he spit the mouthpiece out. Of course, I wanted the referee to stop the fight right there. You know, quicker the better. But I think he did a good job. I mean, he did what he was supposed to do when Miranda went down. So he did a good job.
All right, Kelly, you've made your statement here. You've won an eliminator.
Second time in the last 2 fights for the WBC.
So will you press your stature now for a shot at the winner of the Taylor-Spinks fight?
Yes, I would love to. You know, everyone wants to fight the world champion. Jermaine Taylor is the world champion. He has the belt, he has the name, and of course I want to fight him. But if not, if something don't work out, then who's ever next in line for me? You know, but of course I want Taylor. He's the world champ. But we'll see what happens after this fight.
Congratulations on a great fight. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
Jim?
I love you, Sydney. I love you, Mom.